Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. So since the recent ad boycott, we've had to seek some alternative ways of funding our channel. And I have to admit, in our desperation, we've partnered with some questionable sponsors. I mean, there was that Alderanian disaster relief charity, which turned out to be a front for a criminal organization. And then there was that meat company that was selling spoiled meat to everyone. Now, I'm truly sorry about all that, guys, but today we have a sponsor that is not only real, but they actually have a pretty cool product. So, check it out. This is Star Wars Amino, an online community that fits in the palm of your hand. It's like Reddit, but a much more modern version, and it's designed specifically for Star Wars. There's tons of cool things you can do, like challenges, take polls, and quizzes, or you can even start your own blog and share your short stories, characters you've made up, or show off your custom artwork. Holy crap, is that me as a Jedi? Wow, I guess that's what I would have looked like if I hadn't disappointed my parents and dropped out of Padawan training to become an artist. Oh well, the point is there's a lot of cool stuff built into this mobile app. You can even follow us, and we might just upload a few episodes early this week on Amino. If you want to learn more about Amino Star Wars, just check out the description below for more details. Alright, that's pretty cool. So guys, in this episode, we're going to go a long time before a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away to the age of the Old Republic. Back in the good old days, things were much simpler. The Jedi were fighting for the Republic, and the Sith were fighting for the Sith. No hiding in the shadows. It was just straight up old-fashioned galactic war. And what's even more exciting is there are tons of new ships to explore that are old. Whatever. The Rebel Alliance had the famous X-Wing. The Old Republic had the Auric Fighter. This speedy little interceptor packed quite a punch for its size. It carried 2 laser cannons and up to 6 torpedoes. It also had shields and a hyperdrive. The most identifiable physical characteristic of this ship was its folding wings, which kind of give it a scissor-like appearance. The Auric Fighter was aptly named the A-Wing, and it's only half a meter shorter than the A-Wing the Rebel Alliance used. But at 9.2 meters, it's a lot larger than you would think. It's about the same length as 2 Ford Mustangs. On the Sith side, we had the very creatively named Sith Fighter. It was manufactured in the Starforge, an ancient Rakatan superfactory which used the power of stars to create infinite amounts of starships. It was like a giant 3D printer of death. Similar to the Imperial TIE Fighter, it was lightweight and agile, but it also didn't have shields or hyperdrive, and it had a very minimal life support. Why do the Sith just hate fighter pilots? I mean, they're really expensive to train. The Sith Fighter actually had a similar wing structure to the atmospheric TIE Striker. Its wing unfolded in combat, giving it a maximum length of 7 meters. Which is tiny, if you consider African bush elephants tiny. But that's kind of a stupid comparison. Elephants would never fight for the dark side, or the light side, they're gray. Alright, now let's look at something a little bit bigger. If any of you guys played the KOTOR games, you would recognize this, the Ebon Hawk. It's kind of like the Millennium Falcon of this storyline. It's not only your ship, but it's also your home. Judging by the exterior dimension of the ship, the interior is roughly the size of your average 1-bedroom apartment, but it looks a lot bigger when you're inside. Obviously, there's some kind of TARDIS situation going on with this ship. The Ebon Hawk is just a bit shorter than 2 school buses, the non-magical kind, and as wide as 10 Hummers. Next up is the BT-7 Thunderclap. This advanced assault ship was often used by small squads of Republic troopers. Although it had a similar layout to the B-Wing bombers of the Rebellion, it's actually much larger. It's as wide as a football field from goal line to goal line, and lengthwise, it's as long as the Boeing 7879 Dreamliner. With its S-foils completely deployed, the Thunderclap was as tall as a 27-story building. Which leads me to one conclusion about the BT-7's interior.
Look at all this floor space! So much aerobics in here, so many activities!
Now, if serving the Republic isn't your thing, and you're more of a Sith warrior, you can try using one of these Fury-class interceptors. It's as if the TIE Interceptor and Striker had a baby, but like the Thunderclap, it's a lot bigger than you'd think. At 100 meters, it's almost twice as long as the Space Shuttle, and it's as wide as one of the largest aircraft in the world, the Antonov AN-225. It's kind of odd they even called this ship an interceptor. It's closer to the size of a transport. Alright, so now we're going to stop playing games and we're going to get to the big boys, the capital ships. Now, you might recognize this ship from the Rogue One movies or maybe the Rebels TV show. It's the Hammerhead Corvette. But its roots go all the way back to the Republic era to this guy, the Hammerhead Cruiser. Unlike the Corvette, the cruiser was a real ship of the line. It was the backbone of the Republic fleet, and while it wasn't the largest ship in the galaxy, it made up for it in quantity. But by Earth standards, it's still quite large. At 315 meters, it was just 17 meters short of the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. So for something a little bigger, we can check out the Valor class cruiser. Usually used as a flagship, these vessels were only partially armored in crucial areas, making it a lot lighter and more maneuverable than it looked. At over 500 meters, it was around 50 meters longer than the longest ship in the world, the oil tanker Seawise Giant. It was one of the few ships in the Old Republic arsenal that could go toe-to-toe with the Sith Harrower class dreadnought. The dreadnought embodied the classic Sith wedge design. It had a gap in the front of the ship which housed 2 hangar doors for its complement of starfighters. At around 800 meters long, it was one of the largest ships in the Old Republic and just short of the tallest building on Earth, the Burj Khalifa. Now there's one last ship that we have to talk about, and technically it served both the Old Republic and then later on the Sith, and that's the Interdictor class cruiser. This sleek, beautiful ship had the ability to pull vessels out of hyperspace by generating gravity wells, a technology that would later on be replicated by the Galactic Empire in their own immobilizer cruiser. The Interdictor Leviathan, along with a huge portion of the Republic fleet, would be commandeered by Revan and other fallen Jedi Knights. It would eventually serve as one of the main templates used for replication in the Starforge. That was kind of problematic for the Republic. That's because the Interdictor class was 600 meters long, as high as the Abraj al-Bayt Central Clock Tower in Saudi Arabia. It's kind of interesting to see how Old Republic ships designed almost 4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin still influenced later on designs. It shows aesthetically not much has really changed from one generation to another. So when in doubt, if an unidentified ship approaches and looks like a flying hammer, it's most likely full of good guys. But if it's a wedge ship, scramble the fighters and load the proton torpedoes. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on all of our latest content. And a special thanks as usual to all of our Patreon supporters out there. If I had a Starforge, I would replicate all of you guys. That's actually kind of messed up. Probably bad for your health, so scratch that. Thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.